So why is order of operations important, right? You've seen order of operations before, and we're going to talk about it again. So why do we keep talking about it? Well, it comes down to rules, right? Imagine you walk onto a soccer field. You're feeling ready to go. You're about to kick the ball, right? And then this guy comes up and picks up the ball and throws it at you. Well, he's mad because he thought he was playing dodgeball and that the rules were pick it up and throw it at you, and you're mad because you were about to kick it, right? So the problem is that we need rules. Otherwise, we can't operate in the world, right? We have rules about traffic and cars. We have rules about sports. We have rules about what's allowed and not allowed in the house, right? Lots of rules. So in math, we need rules too. So for example, let's say I have something like this. Okay, we need rules for how to solve this. Why? Because if two different people solve this two different ways and they get two different answers, right, then we're just going to be confused. Okay, it's because there's really two ways I could solve this, right? Person one could say, oh, I see. Okay, I'm going to take this 3 plus 7, that's 10, times 2, and that's 20, right? Person number one does it that way. And person number two says, well, I think I'm going to do this multiplication first over here. You know, I like to do multiplication first, so I'm going to do 7 times 2 is 14, and they get 17, right? So two different answers, that's a problem. Now, it turns out, order of operations, this is the correct answer. Please don't do this, okay? So instead of thinking like, oh, there's like these magical order of operations rules, just remember, it's like at some point, two mathematicians sat down and they were like, they did this differently. They were like, oh, crap, we need rules for this, right? So we don't do it differently. So they just decided on a set of rules. They said, okay, look, first, anything that's in any sort of grouping symbol, like parentheses or brackets or the top or bottom of a fraction, this is what we're going to talk about tomorrow, that goes first, right? Next, if you have any exponents in there, that's going to be next, right? So if I have something like, 3 to the second power, that would be exponents. Grouping symbols can be parentheses, they can be brackets, and we'll even talk about how the top and the bottom of a fraction bar are grouping symbols. Next, let's go ahead and do multiplication and division. And you do these from left to right. So let's say I have multiplication and division. I just start at the left and go to the right, right? And then the final step was, let's do adding and subtracting last. And again, if there's more than one, you do it from left to right, right? So someone just decided, like, let's just make these rules, right? Maybe they could have decided differently, but they didn't. They decided, okay, these are the rules of the game. So what that means is that when we see something, even something kind of complicated, let's do this. Let's change it up a little bit here. Even when we see something kind of complicated, we're still going to all follow the same rules, right? So the first thing I look for is I say, okay, well, let me find some grouping symbols here. Oh, there's a set of parentheses. So I'm going to do that first, right? That's step one. 7 plus 2, that's 9. So now I'm just going to bring down everything else. Now, what do I have left? Well, I have exponents, right? So I'm looking and say, oh, there's an exponent here, right? This says 10 to the power of 2. That means 10 times 10, right? 10 to the power of 2 doesn't mean 10 times 2. It means 10 multiplied by itself twice. So that's 100. Now, what else do I have here? Well, I have some multiplication, and I have some subtraction. Well, what do I do first? Oh, yeah, okay, I do multiplication first. So let me do that first. So this is 100 minus 9 times 3 is 27. And then 100 minus 27 is 63, right? And so now I have an answer. And if I do this problem and a bunch of other people do this problem, we'll all get the same answer. So that's good news.